You ever noticed how some guys seem to hate other men who embrace their own masculinity? They can't stand the confidence, the presence, or the ease with women that men who embody masculine traits seem to have. These are the guys who always show up, especially when other men discuss things about women that may be unflattering when trying to break down and understand female behavior. These men are full of bitterness and resentment. They think that any discussion of women is a bad thing unless it's blowing sunshine up a girl's ass. And these are the guys who are all about being nice guys, male feminists, or white knight saviors, and swoop in to protect the damsel in distress from the seemingly toxic, mean man out to get them. But here's the reality. They're not attacking masculine men. They're attacking the reflection of what they wish they could be, but can't. Now, maybe you are one of these type of men, or maybe you've behaved like this in the past. But today, I'm going to break down exactly why so many men fall into this trap, which is hating masculinity while chasing a broken idea of what it means to be the perfect guy. I'm going to share with you guys a personal story that paints this picture perfectly and shows you the way out if you've ever found yourself slipping into that same cycle. Because as hard as it is for some men to face this truth, they need to understand that women are not attracted to white knights, nice guys, or male feminists. They are repulsed by them. Part 1, why this happens, the programming. So where does this bitterness towards masculinity come from? Well, for a lot of guys, it starts at home. They grow up without any strong masculine role models, and maybe dad was physically there, but checked out. He was weak, passive, or disconnected. Or maybe he was over-aggressive, harsh, and set a terrible example. Either way, they don't experience what masculinity looks like, which is firm, no nonsense, but loving and leading. But let's dive deeper into this and get more specific about how a father's role or lack thereof shapes a boy's view of masculinity. So some boys grow up with the angry, bitter type of father. Okay, this is the kind of man who criticizes everything, is always in a bad mood, and makes his son feel like no matter what he does, it's never good enough. This is the stereotypical militant dad that you see in movies. He demands perfection and meets anything less with scorn. In the media, the boys of these types of men are often portrayed as rebels without a cause who grow up to be jerks, masking their pain behind aggression, only to be redeemed when they find their inner feminine side and let themselves cry and be vulnerable. That's the Hollywood fairy tale, okay? But in real life, this dynamic is even more harmful. What really happens is that these men associate masculinity with bitterness and judgment, and they reject it entirely. They swing too far in the opposite direction and end up burying their anger, avoiding conflict, and equating feminine traits with being a better man, especially since this is the message that they've heard from the TV and movies their entire lives. That the life that they've been living is a lie, and that the truth can only be found once they become more like women. And the moment they do, life will magically get better. Then there's the other side, okay? This is the kind but weak father. This dad is loving, sure, but he's also timid, submissive, and walks on eggshells around the overbearing mother who runs the household. In these homes, boys grow up watching their fathers bend over backward to appease their wives. The message that they internalize is that this is what a good man looks like. Keep her happy, avoid confrontation, and don't make waves. It's the epitome of that saying, happy wife, happy life. But just like the rebel, the nice guy raised in this dynamic ends up rejecting masculinity too. He prioritizes everyone else's needs over his own, hoping it'll earn him the love and respect that he craves. The story, a white knight in action. I'm going to tell you a story about a time I saw this play out firsthand, the behaviors of a white knight nice guy. Okay, so I was at this party, I was chatting up a girl, and I took a playful, teasing approach right from the start. I told her I was looking for a one-night stand. Now, obviously, I was joking, or was I? But there was a wink and a laugh in how I said it, but for her, it sparked this playful tension, which pulled her in. Now, here's where it got interesting, okay? Another guy overheard me say this, and he decided that this was his moment to save her. This guy went full white knight. He tried to stare me down, tried to shame me with his serious, disapproving looks. Then he started trying to draw her away from me by commandeering the conversation, acting like her protector. But The problem was they had just met. He didn't know her any better than I did. And you could see his desperation creeping in. He was trying so hard to play the nice guy that it backfired. See, women are not drawn to guys who come off as over-serious, overprotective, and needy. And this guy reeked of it. And so by the end of the night, he was still trying. He even offered to walk her to her car. But at that point, he'd pushed so hard that it backfired completely. She turned him down and chose to leave with me instead. Now, here's why this happened, okay? He was trying to prove his value by tearing mine down. But instead of making me look bad, he made himself look weak and try hard. He was doing everything to convince her rather than attract her naturally. And look, guys, I get this, okay? I wasn't mad at him because I've been there. I used to think that being the perfect nice guy was the key to winning women over too. I used to think that playing the protector or being endlessly sensitive would make me stand out, but it doesn't. So to better understand this, I put together a list to showcase the different traits between a man who has a higher likelihood of success with a woman versus a white knight who has less chances of succeeding with women. Traits of a man successful with women. Confident. He believes in himself and leads with ease. Playful. He teases, flirts, and creates tension naturally. Non-needy. He doesn't seek validation or approval. Grounded. He's calm under pressure. He doesn't get emotional or reactive. Grounded. He's calm under pressure. He doesn't get over-emotional or reactive. Assertive. He sets boundaries and leads interactions. He's masculine. He's got a strong presence, firm but loving and decisive. Authentic. Speaks his mind without fear of judgment. Purpose-driven. He has a mission outside of dating, which makes him more attractive. Traits of a white knight. He's insecure. He tries too hard to prove his value. Over-serious. He lacks playfulness and fun energy. Needy. He seeks approval, validation, and brownie points. Reactive. Gets emotional or defensive easily. Passive. Afraid to lead, set boundaries, or challenge her. Over-appeasing. Puts women on a pedestal and bends over backwards to please. Self-doubting. Filters his words and actions out of fear of being judged. Aimless. He has no purpose or mission, so he makes women the center of his life. Why white knighting fails. So here's the truth that most men who get trapped in these patterns don't want to hear. Women don't want a white knight. They don't want a guy who tiptoes around them, who tries to prove how good he is or bends over backwards to win their favor. What they want is a man who embodies masculine energy, okay? Confidence, playfulness, and ease. A man who's firm but fun, who leads without being possessive, who can tease and flirt because he's not trying to placate her and kiss her ass, and because he doesn't take things too seriously. He has a take it or leave it attitude. The white knight thinks he's doing women a favor. He believes his helpfulness will translate into her love for him. But this is approaching it from a rational, logical perspective, and you cannot win a woman into bed through logic. You do it through emotion, and the emotion that these men are having her experience is one of discomfort. And what he's really doing is smothering them with neediness. And what this comes across as is a negotiation. It's a bribe for sex. He's proposing, hey, if I stand up for you, if I rat on other men and make them look bad, then that will ultimately mean that I'm the one deserving of her time and sexual attention. And nothing kills attraction faster than that. Okay. Men who interact with women who are not white knights, they don't give off the underlying impression of, hey, I will give up myself to save you. The woman feels free. She's drawn to him of her own volition, not because the man does a laundry list of nice deeds and then at the end of it is expecting some sort of sexual reward in return. Instead, his charm, swagger, playful interactions, and non-neediness allow her to come to him instead. She desires intimacy just as much as he does, and it happens naturally. So if you feel yourself slipping into that nice guy mentality, here's what you need to do. 1, stop trying to prove your value. Women don't need you to save them. Show up, lead the interaction, and let your confidence speak for itself. 2, playfully challenge her. Don't be afraid to tease her, flirt with her, and set a fun, masculine tone. Women respond to guys who can create tension, not guys who try to earn points. And 3, embrace masculine energy. And that means focusing on these 3 key things, okay? Confidence, presence, and leadership. Here's how you do it. Confidence, start by getting out of your comfort zone every single day. Confidence isn't something that you're born with. It's something that you build through action. Approach women, start conversations, take risks, and get comfortable with rejection. Confidence grows when you prove to yourself that you can handle whatever happens. Presence. Okay, presence is about being in the moment, calm, collected, and fully engaged. Slow down your speech, hold eye contact longer, and speak with a lower, steady tone. Avoid fidgeting or rushing to fill silences. When you enter a room or approach a woman, own the space that you take up. Leadership. Leadership doesn't mean being domineering. It means guiding with clarity and purpose. When you're on a date, take initiative. Choose where you're going. Lead her into the conversation and create opportunities for playful tension. A man who leads shows he knows what he wants and isn't afraid to go for it. Women are drawn to that certainty. The white knight loop isn't just painful. It's a slow death of your confidence, your relationships, and your sense of self as a man. It leaves you frustrated, bitter, and constantly asking yourself, why isn't this working? But here is the truth. It's not because you're not good enough. It's because the programming that you followed was flawed from the start. You've been sold that being soft, endlessly accommodating, and avoiding conflict makes you a good man. But that programming is broken. Women do not want a man who bends over backwards to please them. They don't respect a man who avoids taking the lead. So you guys have a choice to make here, okay? You can keep doubling down on the lies that you've been sold, the programming that's led you nowhere but frustration, or you can wake up. You can embrace your masculine edge, which means taking action, not seeking approval, leading with strength and playfulness instead of passivity and neediness, showing up as a man who's firm, confident, and decisive, but never bitter or jaded. Because that is the man women are drawn to. That's the man other men respect. And most importantly, that's the man who respects himself. The white knight may feel like a way out of discomfort, but it's a dead end. So embrace your masculine traits, own your life, and stop apologizing for being a man. If you're tired of playing small, tired of the frustration, and ready to step into the kind of masculine power that changes everything, then join Club Scoundrel. This is my free community for men who are done with the nice guy nonsense and ready to lead with confidence, clarity, and strength. Inside the club, you're going to find weekly live coaching calls where we tackle real issues head on. There's a brotherhood of men who are stepping up, holding each other accountable, and putting in the work. There's also tools and strategies to help you stop overthinking, take action, and become the man that you were meant to be. So if you are ready to stop apologizing for being a man and start leading the way life demands, then hit that link down below and join us. Don't wait for someone to save you. Step up and do the work, and I'm going to see you guys inside, all right? So that does it for this one. I will see you in the next video.